What if the earth never formed? What if the ground beneath your feet, that the oceans you've touched, the sky you've breathed, the forests you've walked through, never existed at all? What if the story of everything we know, life, memory, history, was only an accident, a series of collisions, catastrophes, and miracles strung together across billions of years? And what if right now, as you drift into sleep, the story of this planet could be told not in textbooks but in whispers, a dream woven from dust, fire, and stars? Close your eyes, let the questions settle like mist. We begin not here, but far away, nearly 5 billion years ago. There is no Earth, no moon, no oceans, only a newborn star, blazing in the dark, surrounded by clouds of dust and fragments of stone. Gravity pulls the fragments together. They collide, break apart, and collide again. It is violent, chaotic, merciless, and yet this chaos is the workshop of creation. The planet that will one day cradle forests and seas begins as nothing more than rocks, dust, and relentless gravity. Imagine drifting there, watching from above. The airless silence, the endless collisions, the glowing heat of molten stone. It looks less like a birthplace and more like a battlefield. But this battlefield is building something extraordinary. What if you could see Earth then? What if you could stand above its surface at the moment of its birth? You wouldn't see blue skies, you wouldn't see oceans or continents. Instead, you'd see a boiling world, a ball of lava. Temperatures soaring above 1200 degrees Celsius, the air thick with poisonous gases, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, steam, no breath to take, no place to rest. And yet, here it is, Earth. It looks like hell, but it is home in the making. What if you could watch time speed forward? A young planet collides with another, tearing its surface apart, hurling molten rock into orbit. In the wreckage, a glowing companion forms, the Moon. At first it hangs impossibly close, so large it fills the horizon, tugging at Earth's tides with violent force. Days last only 6 hours. Storms roar, oceans swell before they even exist. The Moon, born from destruction, becomes a guardian. It slows the Earth's spin, it steadies the planet's tilt. Without it, Earth would wobble wildly, seasons too unstable for life. The Moon is proof that even catastrophe can be a gift. What if water had never arrived? For millions of years, Earth is barren. No seas, no rivers, no rain, only rock and fire. But then, visitors come. For 20 million years, asteroids and comets rain down in endless waves. They slam into the crust, blasting craters, boiling the ground, shaking the planet with unimaginable force. And hidden inside those missiles of stone and ice is something miraculous. Droplets of water, sealed within crystals since the dawn of the solar system. Each impact unleashes vapor. Clouds thicken, rain falls, not for hours, not for days, but for thousands of years. Endless storms flood the land, pools gather in craters, lakes swell into basins, seas merge into oceans, and finally, Earth is blue. From orbit, the fiery glow is gone. In its place, sapphire seas, a planet dressed in water. Every drop you drink, every wave that crashes, every tear you shed, all of it billions of years old, all of it delivered by stars. Our oceans are not just Earth's, they are cosmic. What if life had never taken hold? The seas churn with minerals from the crust, chemicals from volcanic vents, carbon and amino acids from the stars. Lightning flashes, heat stirs, tides mix. And in this restless cauldron, something stirs. Something fragile, invisible, smaller than dust, a cell, alive, replicating, enduring. This is the spark, the first breath. Billions of years pass. Life is simple, microscopic, patient, until one day something incredible happens. Tiny colonies of bacteria learn to eat sunlight. They create sugar from light and water, and as waste, they release oxygen. Oceans rust, skies change, the air transforms. Oxygen, fuel for life, spreads across the world. With oxygen comes power, with power comes complexity. Creatures grow larger, skeletons appear. The oceans burst with trilobites, worms, predators with claws and teeth. Plants creep onto land, fish grow legs. Seeds evolve, carrying forests far from water. The world is alive, but the earth is restless, always. It freezes into a snowball, entombed in ice kilometers thick. Volcanoes erupt in Siberia, poisoning the seas, killing 95% of all life. The dinosaurs rise and fall, only to be ended by a mountain of rock falling from the heavens. Each catastrophe resets the story, each extinction clears the stage, and each time survivors endure. Until finally on the plains of Africa, a fragile ape stands upright, hands free, eyes wide, brain restless. Homo sapiens, us. What if the Earth's entire 4.5 billion year history has been leading here? What if every collision, every storm, every extinction was not an ending, but a path? Winding, brutal, miraculous, to this moment. What if, as you lie here tonight, listening to the rhythm of this story, you realize that you are not apart from Earth's journey, you are its latest chapter. And so, let your mind drift. Let curiosity pull you forward, even as your body sinks deeper into rest. Because this is not just a documentary, it is not just history. It is the dream of a planet that has survived fire, ice, storms, and silence. It is the dream of Earth itself, and the dream is only beginning. We travel back, not hundreds of years, not thousands, not even millions, but billions, or 5 billion years ago. There is no Earth, no forests, no oceans, no mountains, no life, only darkness broken by light. A newborn star blazing at the center of a violent storm. This is the sun, just born, raw and furious. Around it, a swirling disk of dust, gas and shattered rock stretches across space like a cosmic whirlpool. The remains of dead stars forged in ancient explosions are scattered here. This is the raw material of worlds. And here, in this chaos, something extraordinary is about to happen. Gravity. The invisible architect of the universe. It pulls the smallest particles together, clumping dust into grains, grains into pebbles, pebbles into boulders. The collisions are violent. Sparks fly across the void as rocks smash into one another, fusing into ever larger masses. The disk spins faster, hotter, tighter. Planets are being born. Not all will survive. Some are swallowed by the sun's furnace. Others are torn apart by collisions, ripped to pieces before they ever have the chance to become whole. But in one corner of this cosmic battlefield, gravity wins a rare victory. Piece by piece, rock by rock, something takes shape. A world is forming. Earth. Except it doesn't look like Earth. Not yet. We descend closer. What we find is unrecognizable. This is no blue planet, no cradle for life. Instead, it is hell. The surface boils at more than 1,100 degrees Celsius. An endless ocean of molten rock stretches from horizon to horizon. Rivers of lava surge like blood through open wounds in the crust. There are no continents, no seas, no sky. The atmosphere is toxic, a suffocating soup of carbon dioxide, nitrogen and steam. There is no oxygen here, no breath to take. Everywhere we look, the young Earth is under attack. Leftover debris from the solar system slams into its center. Earth's, each impact like a nuclear explosion. City-sized rocks scream through the sky at 20 times the speed of a bullet. The ground shakes with relentless violence. Firestorms rip across the surface, leaving nothing but rivers of molten glass in their wake. This is creation through destruction. Look closer, the young Earth is not alone. On the horizon a shadow grows, a planet-sized intruder. It's as large as Mars, a rogue world that astronomers will one day call Theia. It races toward Earth at 15 kilometers per second. That's 54,000 kilometers an hour. Impact is inevitable. Theia collides head-on. The force is beyond comprehension. Trillions of tons of rock vaporize in an instant. Earth itself shudders, its crust liquefied, its mantle torn apart. A wall of molten debris explodes outward, wrapping the planet in a glowing halo of destruction. To stand here would be impossible. The heat alone would turn us to vapor in less than a second. But destruction once again breeds creation. Over the course of 1,000 years, gravity works its patient magic. The shattered remains of Theia and Earth swirl together, a ring of molten debris encircling the planet. From this fiery halo, a new world condenses, a sphere of rock and fire that glows red in the night sky, the moon. But not the moon we know. This moon hangs just 22,000 kilometers away, 15 times closer than today. It looms impossibly large, dominating the horizon, pulling the tides into violent waves that crash across Earth's molten surface. The impact has changed everything. Earth now spins with ferocious speed. A full day lasts only 6 hours. Winds scream across the lava fields, storms whipped up by the newborn moon's powerful pull. Yet even in this chaos, change is underway. Slowly, over millions of years, the surface begins to cool. Pools of solid rock form like islands in a sea of fire. Above, the toxic air thickens with vapor, clouds boiling and swirling in the heat. Lightning rips through the sky, illuminating the fractured land below. This is not yet home. It is a furnace. But a furnace can forge wonders. And so, the Earth waits. Everywhere, the signs of its violent birth are written in stone. Deep within the crust, minerals formed under unimaginable pressure, trapped gases waiting to shape the atmosphere, and a restless core, spinning and molten, generating the magnetic shield that one day will protect this fragile world. But in these early days, survival is not guaranteed. At any moment, Earth could suffer another devastating impact. Its fragile crust could collapse back into the molten sea. The young sun could unleash storms powerful enough to strip the atmosphere away. In this cosmic arena, countless planets are destroyed before they ever find stability. That Earth survives is nothing short of miraculous. Step back. Look at this young world from space. It is not blue, it is not green, it is red, glowing, writhing, a wounded planet struggling to heal. Yet here, in this chaos, the story of life is being written. Not with gentle hands, but with fire and fury. Creation begins with violence. Order emerges from chaos. And this hellish world, against all odds, will one day cradle oceans, forests, and the beating hearts of creatures yet to come. But first, Earth must endure another chapter of violence, another disaster waiting in the shadows. The reign of fire has not ended, and from the heavens, something is still coming. We return to the young Earth, scarred, bruised, still boiling from its violent birth. The surface is a world of fire, vast lava plains stretching as far as the eye can see. No oceans, no continents, just molten chaos. The air above is toxic, a choking brew of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and steam, and all around the planet is under constant bombardment. But tonight, something different approaches. Not just another rock, not another fragment from the debris field. This intruder is a giant. Across the darkness, a new world is on a collision course with Earth. It's as big as Mars, a planet in its own right. Scientists will one day call it Theia. It moves silently but relentlessly, hurtling through space at nearly 15 kilometers per second. That's over 50,000 kilometers an hour, 20 times faster than a rifle bullet, closer, larger, looming like a phantom ship. The young Earth has no defense. Impact is inevitable. The collision is cataclysmic. In an instant, the two worlds collide with the force of millions of nuclear weapons. Earth's surface vaporizes, the crust shatters. Lava erupts skyward, hurled into space like sparks from a cosmic anvil. The shockwave rips around the globe, turning rock into liquid. For a moment, Earth itself nearly ceases to exist, reduced to a swirling, boiling mass of molten debris. From the surface, it is the end of the world, but from space, it looks like something else. Creation. Theia is destroyed. Its remains, fused with pieces of Earth, scatter into orbit. Trillions of tons of molten rock, ash and vapor wrap the planet in a halo of glowing fire. And then, gravity takes over. The same invisible force that pulled dust into worlds now works its magic again. Over the course of just 1,000 years, a blink in geological time, the debris begins to gather. Clumps of molten rock merge, fusing into a single glowing sphere. Slowly, piece by piece, a new world emerges from the wreckage. The moon is born. But this is not the moon we know today. It hangs just 22,000 kilometers above Earth's surface. 15 times closer than it is now. It fills the sky, a fiery red giant looming so large it seems ready to crash back down at any moment. Its presence reshapes the young planet in profound ways. First, it speeds up time itself. The impact has jolted Earth, spinning it like a top. What once might have been a day of 20 or more hours is now reduced to just 6. The sun races across the horizon. Days are short, nights even shorter. The world spins with dizzying speed. Second, it unleashes unimaginable tides. The moon's gravity pulls on Earth's molten surface. Tides rise to hundreds of meters, waves of lava surging like mountains across the landscape. Storms roar through the sky, fueled by this frantic rhythm. The surface shakes, quakes, and buckles as Earth adjusts to its new companion. This is not yet a stable world. It is restless, violent, and alive. But the moon's birth is more than destruction. It is salvation. The newborn moon acts as Earth's anchor. Its gravitational pull slows Earth's wild spin over millions of years, calming the storms, stabilizing the axis of rotation. Without it, Earth would wobble unpredictably, tipping wildly from season to season, its climate unstable, perhaps too unstable for life. The moon is not just a companion, it is a guardian, a stabilizer. Without it, there may have never been oceans, forests, or humans to marvel at the sky. We step back and watch this young system from space. The Earth glows red, still boiling, its scars fresh from the collision. Around it, the moon circles, closer than it will ever be again. Each orbit drags it slightly farther away, a slow retreat that continues to this day. Even now, billions of years later, the moon drifts away from us by a few centimeters each year. One day, far in the future, it will no longer be close enough to cause total solar eclipses, but here, in Earth's youth, it looms enormous, a constant reminder of violent beginnings. And below, the planet itself is changing. The crust thickens, lava begins to cool, islands of solid rock form on the fiery seas, the toxic atmosphere grows heavy with steam, the skies dark and turbulent. Every storm, every tide, every quake reshapes the surface. Life does not yet exist here, but the ingredients are coming together. Every collision, every eruption, every storm is setting the stage for what's to come. We zoom forward in time, racing across millions of years. The moon drifts farther, the tides calm, the days lengthen, 6 hours become 12, 12 become 18. Earth is slowing, finding rhythm, balance, but overhead the scars remain. Craters, lava plains, scars of ancient impacts, all reminders that Earth's story begins in violence. And yet this violence has given us something extraordinary. The moon, our eternal companion, our anchor in the sky, a relic of destruction, and the first true stabilizer of life's possibility. From chaos, a partnership is born. But the storms are not over. The bombardment of Earth continues. For millions of years, asteroids and comets will still rain down, carrying something unexpected, something that will change the barren surface into something far more familiar. Not just fire, not just rock, but water. The Earth has survived the Great Collision. The moon circles overhead, vast and red, tugging at tides of molten rock. The planet spins furiously, a single day lasting only 6 hours. The crust thickens, the surface cools. For the first time, islands of solid ground rise from the fiery seas. But this young Earth is still a hostile world. No oceans, no rivers, no rain, only a furnace of stone and gas. If life is ever to exist here, something vital must arrive. Something the Earth has lost. Water. We rise above the planet, drifting into the black of space. And here, in the void, we see them, visitors. Millions of them. For 20 million years, Earth is bombarded by a relentless storm of asteroids, comets and meteorites, debris left over from the solar system's violent birth. They come screaming through the darkness, torn from their ancient orbits by the pull of Earth's young gravity. As they plunge into the atmosphere, they flare white-hot, glowing like falling suns. Each one slams into the surface with the power of nuclear fire. Craters scar the crust, shockwaves ripple across continents, lava fountains erupt skyward. It is an endless apocalypse, a rain of stone that lasts for ages. But hidden inside this violence is a secret. Look closer, split open the crystals within these cosmic missiles, and you find something extraordinary. Tiny pockets, droplets of water, ancient, frozen since before the sun ignited. Each fragment carries only a trace, but there are so many, millions upon millions, striking Earth day after day, century after century, for 20 million years. Water accumulates, slowly, patiently. At first it escapes as vapor, hissing out of shattered rock. Steam rises into the atmosphere, condensing into clouds. And then it falls. The first rainfall in Earth's history. Droplets cascade from the sky, hissing and vanishing as they strike the still scorch. Dead ground, the crust is too hot to hold them. They evaporate instantly, returning to the air. But the cycle does not stop. Clouds gather, thunder roars, lightning splits the sky. Rain falls again and again, storm after storm, relentless for thousands of years. Each drop carries more than water. Lightning jolts the molecules, driving reactions that will one day become the chemistry of life. For now, the rain begins to shape the land. Pools collect in craters, streams carve channels through jagged rock, lakes spread across the surface. The planet is changing. The bombardment continues. Each strike delivers more water. Lakes swell into seas, seas merge into basins, and finally, oceans. Vast, roiling bodies of water, deeper and wider than anything Earth has ever seen. Within a few 100 million years, the planet is transformed. What was once a fiery wasteland is now cloaked in blue. From orbit, Earth no longer glows red, it shimmers sapphire, a water planet, the first glimpse of the home we recognize. But these oceans are not calm. The moon, still looming close, exerts a brutal pull. Tides rise to hundreds of meters. Waves race around the planet like mountains in motion, smashing against young shorelines. Storms whip across the surface with unimaginable force, stronger than any hurricane in our time. Winds scream, rain lashes, lightning ignites the clouds. It is a world in turmoil, but in that turmoil lies promise. Because in these oceans, the ingredients of life are coming together. The young seas are more than water, they are a cauldron. Minerals leach from the crust, dissolved by rain and rivers. Volcanoes erupt on the seafloor, spewing superheated water rich with sulfur and iron. Meteorites continue to fall, delivering carbon, nitrogen, and amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. Stirred by tides, energized by lightning, heated by volcanic vents. Together, they form a chemical soup, chaotic, dense potential. It is not yet alive, but it is waiting. Think about it. The glass of water you drink today, the river that winds through a valley, the waves that crash endlessly on a shore. Every drop is ancient, billions of years old. Each molecule once sealed inside a meteor, carried across millions of kilometers of space, delivered by fire and violence. When you swim, when you drink, when you weep, you are touching the stars. Our oceans are alien, our seas are cosmic. Step back again, see Earth as it was 4 billion years ago. Blue oceans stretch endlessly, reflecting the light of a young sun. Above, clouds coil and twist in great spirals. Storms rage across the surface. Lightning flashes. Thunder shakes the sky. Rain falls. Again. The cycle continues, carving valleys, shaping coastlines, filling basins. This is no longer just a planet of stone. It is a planet of movement, a planet of cycles, a planet with rhythm. Earth has become something more. But the moon still rules the tides. Just 22,000 kilometers away, it looms huge in the sky, 15 times closer than today. Its gravity drags the oceans like a hand across a bowl. Waves surge violently, reshaping coasts, mixing the seas, stirring chemistry again and again. This relentless churning is more than chaos. It is opportunity. Without it, the oceans would stagnate. With it, they are alive, restless, energetic, dynamic. The moon, born of catastrophe, is already playing its role as Earth's great stabilizer. Now look beneath the waves. In the dark, at the bottom of the seas, cracks open in the crust. Black chimneys rise, spewing boiling water rich with chemicals into the cold ocean. Minerals precipitate in clouds of smoke. Here, heat meets cold, chemicals meet water, molecules meet molecules. It is here, perhaps, that the first chains will form, the first self-replicating patterns, the first sparks of biology. The oceans are not empty, they are waiting. Creation has taken a leap forward. From dust, a planet; from fire, a moon; from stone, an ocean. Now Earth is no longer only a rock in space, it is a world with weather, with tides, with chemistry in motion, a world preparing for the impossible. Something stirs in the depths, fragile, invisible, but powerful enough to alter the destiny of a planet. It will transform water into life. The first breath is coming. The oceans have come. Endless blue stretching from horizon to horizon. Storms rage above, waves tower, lightning splits the sky. It looks alive, but it isn't, not yet. Beneath the surface, the water is dark and silent. It carries minerals from volcanic eruptions, salts from the crust, and traces of carbon from the meteorites that delivered it. But still, nothing moves, no creatures swim, no breath disturbs the stillness. For now, Earth is only a planet of water and stone, but in the depths, hidden from the storms above, something is stirring. We descend, down past the waves, past the flickering light of the sun. At 300 meters, the ocean is black, cold, and alien. Nothing from the surface can reach here. And then, a glow. A forest of chimneys stretching from the seafloor like a strange city of stone towers. They belch scalding water, hotter than boiling, loaded with chemicals from deep inside the earth. Hydrogen sulfide, methane, iron, minerals that would kill us instantly. But here they are fuel. These are hydrothermal vents, smokestacks of creation. Look closer. The water around them is thick with chemicals. Meteorites have been delivering more ingredients, amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, carbons, sugars, and strange salts. All of it mixes into the ocean, swirling together in this dark, pressurized cauldron. It is a chemical soup, chaotic, rich, primed. And then, against all odds, something impossible happens. The first spark of life. It is invisible, smaller than dust. But it is alive, a single cell. A microscopic bubble of molecules that somehow begins to copy itself. It has no eyes, no mouth, no brain. Yet within it is the secret of survival, the ability to store information, to divide, to grow. This is the dawn of biology. We float here in the dark, watching. The vents continue to roar, spewing clouds of toxic gases into the water. Cells cluster, divide, multiply. Slowly they spread across the seabed. At first they are fragile, easy to destroy, but their numbers grow. Some cling to minerals on the chimneys, others drift through the water, feeding on chemical energy. These simple organisms, bacteria, archaea, are the pioneers, the first living things on Earth. They are ancient, and yet they are our ancestors. Imagine it. Every human, every animal, every tree, every blade of grass, every living thing that will ever walk this planet begins here, in the blackness of an ocean vent, in a cell no larger than a speck of dust. The miracle of life has begun, but it does not change the world overnight. For hundreds of millions of years, Earth remains silent. No fish, no plants, no forests. Just these single-celled organisms multiplying in the oceans. To us, it seems static, uneventful. But deep inside those cells, the machinery of life is refining itself. Proteins, DNA, metabolism, the hidden codes of biology. They evolve, improve, perfect. The planet is a laboratory. Time itself is the experiment. We step back. From space, Earth looks no different than before, still blue, still wrapped in storms. But beneath the waves, a revolution is underway. Invisible, microscopic, unstoppable. Life has taken hold, and it will not stop here. These single-celled pioneers may be tiny, but they carry with them an immense power, for they will eventually learn a trick that changes everything, a trick that will transform the air, shape the oceans, and make Earth the only living planet we know. They will breathe, and with that breath, the world will never be the same. For billions of years, Earth remains quiet. The seas are alive, but only just. Invisible cells drift in the dark, clinging to hydrothermal vents, feeding on chemicals. The oceans are vast. The potential is infinite. But still, no plants, no animals, no movement. Life is trapped in simplicity. Until one day, something changes. We rise from the depths of the black ocean vents and travel to the shallows. The sun burns overhead, its light reaching the seabed for the first time, and here, in these waters, new colonies of bacteria appear. They grow in strange layered towers, mounds of slime and stone rising from the seabed like a stunted forest. They look inert, lifeless, but inside, something extraordinary is happening. These colonies are called stromatolites, and they have discovered a trick that will rewrite the destiny of the planet: photosynthesis. Look closer. Inside the cells, sunlight strikes pigments, splitting molecules of water, combining them with carbon dioxide dissolved in the ocean. The result is food, sugar, glucose, the fuel of life. But there is a byproduct, a gas no creature yet knows how to use: oxygen. At first it bubbles quietly into the ocean, invisible, unnoticed. But as the colonies spread, their waste begins to accumulate. The seas are filling with oxygen. And this changes everything. The oceans are full of iron, dissolved metals left over from Earth's fiery birth. Oxygen reacts with the iron, transforming it into rust. The water runs red. Iron-rich sediments rain to the sea floor, forming colossal deposits. Billions of years later, humans will mine these rocks and forge them into bridges, skyscrapers, and machines. But in this age, it is not steel being born. It is the atmosphere itself. As oxygen continues to pour from the oceans, it escapes into the skies above. For the first time, Earth's atmosphere begins to transform. Until no, W, the air has been suffocating. Methane, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, steam. But now oxygen starts to dominate, molecule by molecule, percentage by percentage. And with oxygen comes breath. The invisible gas we take for granted, the one we draw into our lungs every second of our lives, did not exist before this moment. It is being manufactured cell by cell across billions of years by colonies of ancient bacteria. We are alive today because of them, today. But the oxygen revolution is not gentle. It is brutal. For the organisms that thrived in Earth's early, oxygen-free seas, this new gas is poison. It burns through their cells, tears apart their fragile chemistry. For countless species, it is extinction. The great oxidation event, a mass die-off unlike anything seen before. But out of destruction comes opportunity. Those that adapt gain a new power, energy. Oxygen allows cells to extract far more energy from food. With more energy, they can grow larger, stronger, more complex. Evolution takes a leap forward. Step back. Look at Earth from space. The skies are no longer just haze and steam, they are tinted blue, oxygen scattering the sun's light. The oceans, once rusty and red, deepen to a rich sapphire. Earth is changing, becoming something new, something alive, not just with cells, but with possibility. And it all comes from these strange mounds in shallow seas, stromatolites, unremarkable to the eye, yet the most important organisms that have ever lived. They build the world we know, molecule by molecule, exhaling the breath that will one day fill our lungs. Every breath we take, every inhale, every exhale, is a gift from these ancient architects. For billions of years, life remained trapped in the microscopic. But now, thanks to oxygen, the door has been unlocked. Larger creatures can evolve, stronger bodies can form, skeletons, muscles, nerves, all become possible because there is oxygen to fuel them. The first true explosion of life is coming, but before it does, Earth must endure another trial. For as oxygen transforms the world, the climate is thrown into chaos. A catastrophe is waiting, one that will cover the entire planet in ice. The Earth has changed. The air, once choked with methane, has been scoured clean by oxygen. The seas shimmer blue, the skies brighten. Photosynthesis thrives, stromatolites multiply, and life feels unstoppable. But nature does not reward certainty, it punishes it. Slowly, invisibly, carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere begin to collapse. The planet's thermostat slips, heat escapes into space, clouds thicken. And then, the first flakes fall. At first it seems like nothing. A dusting of frost across bare rock, thin sheets of ice forming on shallow seas. But this is no ordinary winter, this is the start of something darker. Snow reflects sunlight. The more ice that forms, the more light is thrown back into space. The colder the world becomes, the faster the glaciers spread, a runaway feedback loop. The chill deepens. Oceans seize at their edges, ice spreading outward like white fire. Forests do not yet exist, but if they did, they would be buried. Rivers solidify into frozen veins. The poles are no longer the only places cloaked in ice. The entire planet is changing. The ice marches equatorward, kilometers thick, inexorable, unstoppable. Now, 650 million years ago, the world is unrecognizable. Glaciers 3 kilometers high grind across the land, crushing mountains into dust. The oceans lie sealed beneath a lid of ice. Even at the equator, temperatures plunge to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Earth has become a snowball. From space, the planet glows white, a pearl in the blackness of space. Beautiful, silent, deadly. This is not just an ice age, this is total entombment. Life, once spreading across the seas, is driven to the brink. Where can it survive? In the blackness beneath the ice, where faint warmth leaks from volcanic fissures. In the shadows of deep-sea vents, where chemicals still fuel the smallest organisms. In microscopic pockets of liquid water trapped between the ice layers insulated against the deadly cold. Here, bacteria cling on, silent, patient, waiting. Above them, the surface is barren. Winds scream across ice fields, but they find nothing to move but snow. For 15 million years, Earth remains locked in this frozen tomb. And yet, even in catastrophe, forces are building toward change. Beneath the crust, the planet's molten heart never sleeps. Volcanic pressure rises. Magma creeps upward, searching for fractures in the icebound shell. Volcanoes erupt, punching through the glaciers, belching black plumes of ash into the pale sky. And with them, gas. Carbon dioxide, once trapped in rock, pours back into the air. Layer upon layer of ice traps it. There are no forests to absorb it, no weathering rocks to lock it away. It accumulates. Slowly, invisibly, it begins to thicken. The planet is building its own escape. And then the thaw begins. At first it is subtle. A crack running through the ice, a thin sheen of meltwater, the faint hiss of liquid finding its voice. But once again, feedback takes over. Carbon dioxide traps more of the sun's warmth. The ice retreats. Glaciers groan and split apart. Oceans begin to breathe again. White gives way to blue. And with the thaw, something more emerges. During those frozen ages, ultraviolet radiation from the sun was splitting water molecules in the ice, creating hydrogen peroxide. For millions of years, this chemical waited, locked in the frozen shell. Now, as the ice melts, it breaks down, releasing oxygen in a sudden surge. The atmosphere is reborn, richer, cleaner, more breathable. The snowball has cracked, and inside it is something astonishing, a planet ready to rise again. From space, the transformation is breathtaking. A world once encased in white begins to glow blue again. Clouds swirl, oceans churn, continents peek out through the melting sheets. Earth has survived its greatest trial yet. But trials are teachers, and this one has left scars. The survivors of the snowball Earth are stronger, hardened. Life that endured such punishment carries resilience in its DNA. The thaw delivers not only warmth, but opportunity. With new oceans, new chemistry, and higher oxygen, the stage is set. Complexity is coming. This is Earth's rhythm: creation, destruction, rebirth, the furnace of fire, the hammer of ice, catastrophe followed by renaissance. The snowball Earth could have been the end. Instead, it is a threshold. From the silence of ice comes the roar of life. And soon, the oceans will burst open with creatures stranger and more powerful than anything the world has yet seen. The explosion is coming. The ice is gone. The tomb has melted. Earth exhales. For millions of years, glaciers smothered the planet in silence. Now oceans roar again, clouds darken, storms rage, and in the deep, something extraordinary awakens. The seas are rich with oxygen, more than ever before, and oxygen is power. With it, life can grow larger, stronger, stranger. Evolution, dormant during the long freeze, surges forward in a rush. The world is about to erupt with creatures no eye has ever seen. We dive beneath the waves. Here, 540 million years ago, the ocean is alive with new forms. Worms writhe in the sediment, tiny shells drift with the currents. Then, something else. Shadows glide overhead, alien and terrifying. Trilobites, armored, jointed, with eyes that scan the seabed. They scavenge in endless swarms, crawling across the ocean floor like armored tanks. They are the first dominant creatures of Earth, and they will rule the seas for 270 million years, but they are not alone. A predator prowls the shallows, 1/2 meter long with stalked eyes, spiny limbs, and a circular mouth lined with teeth. Anomalocaris, the terror of its age. It lunges, grabs a trilobite, and tears it apart. This is no longer a world of simple cells and slimy mats. This is a battlefield. The Cambrian explosion has begun. In the shallows, forests of sponges and corals rise. Strange worms grow teeth. Creatures invent shells, claws, spines, defenses against predators that grow deadlier with each generation. It is an arms race, evolution accelerating like never before. Everywhere new blueprints are tested. Some fail and vanish forever. Others survive and will echo into the future. One small, unassuming fish develops a backbone, a spine, a single structure that will change everything. Over millions of years, it will become the foundation for reptiles, birds, mammals, even us. The future is taking shape in silence. But life refuses to stay confined to the seas. On bare, rocky shores, green mats creep outward. Algae, moss, primitive plants clinging to damp rock, drinking sunlight and water. Slowly, cautiously, they spread inland. Each step is a gamble against the sun's lethal radiation, but the ozone layer, built by ancient oxygen, shields them now. The land is ready to be conquered, and the plants evolve a new weapon, the seed. Encased in a hard shell with its own food supply, it can survive far from water, waiting for the right moment to sprout. With seeds, life breaks free from the shore and marches across the land. Forests rise where once there was only stone. Where plants go, animals follow. Fins flatten into stubs. Stubs strengthen into legs. Primitive fish haul themselves out of the water, gasping in the air, dragging across mudflats. These are tetrapods, four-legged pioneers, the first vertebrates to walk on land. They are clumsy, awkward, but revolutionary. Their descendants will inherit every corner of the earth. The land transforms. Ferns soar 30 meters high, weaving dense jungles. Giant dragonflies with wingspans as wide as eagles patrol the skies. Millipedes the length of cars crawl through the undergrowth. Oxygen levels, higher than ever, fuel their monstrous size. This is a world of giants. And in this world, a new kind of egg evolves. Not the fragile spawn of fish, but a hardened shell, a self-contained pond that protects and feeds its young. With the amniotic egg, reptiles no longer need water to reproduce. They can roam deserts, forests, plains. It is the key to conquering the land. Earth has changed beyond recognition. Once it was a ball of fire, then a frozen tomb. Now it is alive. Forests stretch across continents. Oceans swarm with predators. Skies darken with insects. Every surface, every corner, every shadow carries life. This is the first true age of abundance, a living, breathing world bursting with energy, color, and danger. But abundance has a cost. The more life there is, the more fragile the balance becomes. Already deep beneath the crust, forces stir, forces that will one day tear this paradise apart. Earth's story has never been one of peace. It is a story of upheaval, and soon life will face its deadliest trial yet. The Earth has thrived. Forests tower, reptiles crawl across continents, oceans swarm with life, but balance is fragile. 50 million years ago, the silence breaks. Deep beneath what is now Siberia, pressure builds. Magma churns, straining against the crust. And then the land tears open. Not one volcano, not a single mountain, but thousands of fissures spewing fountains of fire. Rivers of molten rock flood the landscape, spreading for millions of square kilometers. For 500,000 years, the planet burns. Each eruption vomits carbon dioxide, methane, and sulfur into the air. Ash clouds darken the sky. Acid rain scours forests. Temperatures swing wildly, first freezing under sulfur's veil, then roasting as greenhouse gases trap the sun's heat. 50 million years ago, the silence breaks. Deep beneath what we now call Siberia, pressure builds. Magma churns, restless and furious, straining against the planet's thin outer skin. The earth groans, the ground cracks, and then the land tears open. What follows is not an eruption as we know it. Not one volcano, not a single mountain of fire, but thousands. Fissures rip across the land like wounds, bleeding molten rock. Fire fountains shoot kilometers into the air. Rivers of lava surge outward, drowning entire landscapes, spreading for millions of square kilometers. This is not a storm of days, not even centuries. This is 500,000 years of fury. For 500,000 years, the planet burns. Each eruption vomits gases into the sky, carbon dioxide, methane, sulfur. Ash clouds spread, blotting out the sun. The world cools under a veil of darkness. Frost grips the land, but the cold is only temporary. When the ash settles, greenhouse gases remain. Carbon dioxide builds, trapping heat, suffocating the atmosphere. The pendulum swings the other way. Temperatures climb. The world roasts. The planet is trapped in a cycle of extremes, freezing beneath a curtain of ash, then boiling under a greenhouse sun. Ecosystems collapse under the pressure. Forests burn and vanish. Rivers dry, then flood, then vanish again. Nothing is stable, nothing is safe. The oceans suffer most. They are poisoned by acid rain, stripped of oxygen, suffocated beneath toxic blooms. Waters turn pink and green with algae that thrive in chaos while all else dies. Fish suffocate in stagnant seas. Coral reefs dissolve. Ancient trilobites, survivors of countless cataclysms, vanish forever. Entire branches of life erased. This is the Great Dying, the deadliest extinction in Earth's history, more lethal than the asteroid that will one day fell the dinosaurs, more devastating than the ice ages. 95% of all species are gone. Forests collapse into deserts. Insects vanish from the air. Amphibians shrivel in drying rivers. The seas, once a cacophony of life, fall silent. The Earth, once vibrant, seems broken. And yet, extinction is never the end, it is a reset. The great dying does not destroy life, it transforms it. Amid the ruins, survivors cling on. Tiny reptiles, no bigger than lizards, dig burrows to escape the heat. Amphibians retreat into hidden swamps. Scavengers eke out an existence on scraps of decaying vegetation. Microbes thrive where nothing else can endure, breaking down toxins, feeding on chemical energy. These are not the mighty, they are the desperate, but they endure. And endurance is power. From these survivors, a new dynasty will emerge, larger, stronger, fiercer. Evolution is opportunistic. With so many niches left vacant, so many rivals erased, the survivors adapt and expand with ferocity. Small reptiles, once insignificant, diversify. Their bodies grow larger, their limbs stronger, their teeth sharper. In the silence left by extinction, they find their chance. The first dinosaurs appear. At first they are modest, fast, agile, opportunistic. But with every generation they refine the tools of dominance, powerful jaws, swift legs, armored hides. What began as desperation becomes dominance. The earth itself begins to heal. The volcanic fury subsides, the skies clear, rain falls, forests grow again, creeping across scarred landscapes. Oxygen seeps back into the air, replenished by new plants. Where there was ash, there is green. Where there was silence, there is birdsong, or at least its reptilian ancestor. And walking among the ferns and cycads are the new rulers of the planet, the dinosaurs. It is astonishing to imagine that out of chaos, from the brink of annihilation, comes one of the greatest success stories in Earth's history. Had the great dying not occurred, the age of the dinosaurs might never have begun. Extinction clears the slate, and from fire and silence, rebirth begins. Step back, look at Earth from space. It is the same planet that was once a boiling ball of lava, the same planet that froze into a snowball, the same planet that birthed trilobites, forests, dragonflies, the size of eagles. But now it has been remade again. The cycle is endless. Fire, ice, death, rebirth. The earth is not gentle, it is not merciful, but it is creative. Every destruction has planted the seeds of something new, and from the ashes of the great dying, a new chapter begins. The stage is set for the greatest giants the world will ever know. The dinosaurs are coming. They rise from nothing. From fragile reptiles crawling through a ruined world, they grow into titans. The great dying cleared the stage, and into that silence stepped the dinosaurs. At first they are small, quick-footed, opportunistic. But evolution favors the bold. They adapt, they grow, and soon they dominate every corner of Earth. For 165 million years, dinosaurs rule. On the plains, herds of sauropods stretch longer than city buses, their necks arching into the treetops like living cranes. They strip forests bare with a single sweep of their jaws, their weight shaking the earth with every step. In the skies, pterosaurs glide on wingspans wider than fighter jets, masters of the winds. In the oceans, ichthyosaurs slice through the water like torpedoes, their sleek bodies built for speed and slaughter. And everywhere predators stalk, all teeth and muscle, claws and hunger, tyrants in scales, ruling with force. The earth belongs to them. Seasons shift, continents drift, volcanoes erupt. The very face of the planet rearranges itself again and again. But still, the dinosaurs endure. For tens of millions of years, they survive storms, droughts, climate shifts. Nothing seems capable of toppling them until the sky betrays them, million years ago. A shadow approaches. From the far reaches of space, a mountain of rock, 10 kilometers wide, hurtles toward Earth at 70,000 kilometers an hour. It is silent, merciless, unstoppable. Its target, the coast of what we now call Mexico, near the Yucatan Peninsula. The dinosaurs continue their lives, oblivious. Herds graze, predators stalk, oceans teem. They do not see death racing toward them. The asteroid strikes. In a single instant, everything changes. The rock vaporizes on impact, releasing energy equal to billions of Hiroshima bombs. The blast gouges a crater 180 kilometers wide, tearing into the Earth's crust with unimaginable force. The shockwave races outward faster than sound, flattening forests for thousands of kilometers. Earthquakes ripple through the continents. Tsunamis rise higher than skyscrapers, roaring across entire oceans, smashing coastlines on the far side of the globe. The dinosaurs are caught in a nightmare of fire and water. But the deadliest killer comes not from the ground, but from above. Molten rock and dust blast into the sky, carried high into the atmosphere. They spread across the globe, circling the planet like a shroud. Within hours, the skies darken. Sunlight fades, day turns to night, and the night does not end. For weeks, months, perhaps even years, the Earth is trapped beneath this black veil. Without sunlight, photosynthesis stops. Plants wither, flowers, ferns, forests all collapse. The herbivores starve. Without them, the predators follow. A chain of hunger races through every ecosystem. The giants fall one by one, not to teeth, but to silence. The reign of the dinosaurs ends not with a roar, but with extinction. Creatures that had ruled for 165 million years vanish in a geological heartbeat. The skies are empty of pterosaurs. The oceans lose their reptilian hunters. Even the mighty Tyrannosaurus falls, leaving its bones to fossilize in the ash. The age of giants is over, and yet, not all perish. Beneath the chaos, in the shadows, the overlooked endure. Small mammals, creatures no larger than rats, burrow underground. They feast on seeds, roots, insects, anything they can find. They hide while the surface burns. They endure the dark winters. Their small size is their salvation. Their adaptability, their obscurity, their lack of grandeur, all the traits that once kept them beneath the dinosaur's shadow now make them survivors. When the skies finally clear, when sunlight returns, they emerge, weak, fragile, but alive. The torch has passed. From the ashes of the dinosaurs, a new dynasty rises. The mammals spread, they diversify. Some take to the trees, others return to the seas. Some grow large, others stay small. And slowly, they begin to shape the world in their image. The age of mammals begins. Step back, look at Earth from space. It has endured collision, fire, ice, and mass extinction. Each time, life has been reset but never erased. Each time, survivors inherit the Earth and push it into a new chapter. Now, with the dinosaurs gone, the stage is cleared once more. What comes next will not be giants of scale and teeth, but giants of thought and imagination. The world is quiet now. The firestorms that ended the reign of dinosaurs have passed. The ash has settled. The skies have cleared. Forests regrow. Rivers carve valleys anew. The oceans teem with life once more. And in this new Eden, a different kind of creature rises. Mammals. At first they are small, fragile, shy shadows in the undergrowth, yet with every generation they diversify, they climb trees, leap from branch to branch, hunt across open plains. Some return to the seas, reshaping themselves into whales and dolphins. Others grow into titanic grazers, mastodons, mammoths, rhinoceroses. But among them, a peculiar branch emerges: primates. They are not the largest, not the strongest, not even the fastest, but they carry a gift no saber-toothed predator can match. Grasping hands, keen eyes, and hidden within their skulls, brains that grow larger with each passing age. The stage shifts once again. Africa. The earth moves underfoot. Tectonic forces rip the land apart, raising mountains and carving deep valleys. Rainforests shrink, leaving behind open grasslands. A new environment is born, harsher, drier, less forgiving, and survival demands change. Some apes remain in the forests, clinging to the safety of the trees, but others step into the open. They face the savannah, vast, dangerous, filled with predators. Here they must adapt or die, and they do. They rise, bipedal, upright, walking on two legs, their hands freed for new purposes, to gather, to carry, to wield, the first true walkers of the human line. Homo erectus strides across the plains, stronger, taller, relentless. They master fire, keeping the darkness at bay. They shape stone into blades and spears. They hunt in groups, their survival built not on claws or fangs, but on cooperation, strategy, and endurance. And in time, from this lineage, another emerges, a species that will redefine the plan, et itself, Homo sapiens, us. At first we are fragile, small in number, a few scattered tribes among predators far fiercer. Yet we are relentless. We endure ice ages, walking across frozen steppes beneath skies filled with auroras. We cross land bridges that no longer exist, spreading into new worlds. We hunt mammoths on the tundra, paint stories on cave walls, invent language to share memory and dream. We are not the strongest, but we are the most adaptable, and that is enough. From fire to farming, we bend the earth to our will. We tame rivers with irrigation, coaxing crops from the soil. We domesticate animals, turning wolves into dogs, wild grass into wheat, oxen into engines. We build villages, then cities, then empires. Stone gives way to bronze, bronze to iron, iron to steel. With each step, our mastery grows. We sail oceans, we map the stars. We pierce the sky with machines of flight. We split the atom, harnessing the very forces that once forged our planet. Every mountain, every river, every patch of land bears our signature. In just a few thousand years, the blink of an eye in geological time, we reshape the world more than volcanoes or asteroids ever did. And yet, the story we write is not only triumph. We scar the forests, poison the air, empty the seas. We wield fire still, but now it takes the form of oil, coal, gas. We burn the ancient remains of worlds long vanished, and in doing so, we change the balance of the climate once again. We are heirs to 4.5 billion years of fire, ice, collision, and catastrophe. But unlike trilobites or dinosaurs or mammoths, we hold the power to decide our own fate. We are both creation and destruction. Step back, look at Earth from space. It is a jewel, blue oceans, green continents, white clouds swirling across its face. But look closer, and you see scars. Forests shrinking, ice retreating, deserts spreading, a planet restless, as it has always been. The Earth is not fragile. It has endured hellfire, snowball tombs, oceans poisoned and skies ablaze. The Earth will outlive us, as it has outlived every creature before. It will shift, quake, freeze, burn. It will write new chapters, with or without us. So the question is not whether Earth will survive. The question is whether we will. Will we learn from the catastrophes etched into stone? Will we see that we are not separate from Earth's story, but its latest verse? Or will we join the trilobites, the ammonites, the tyrannosaurs, remembered only in fossils and dust? We are the children of catastrophe. Every breath we take, every heartbeat, every dream is the result of firestorms, collisions, and extinctions that came before. We are stardust that learned to walk, lava that learned to speak, ice that learned to remember. The story of Earth is written in chaos, and now it is written in us. But the story is not finished, it never is. The Earth will go on for billions of years more. The continents will merge and break. New species will rise and fall. The oceans will open and close. The skies will burn with suns yet unborn. And somewhere in that endless future, new eyes may look up at the sky just as we do and wonder how it all began. The human dawn is not the end, it is a beginning. We are the storytellers of the cosmos, the only creatures we know of that can look back and see the furnace, the ice, the oceans, the giants, the extinctions, and know that we are the result of it all. We are the chapter that Earth itself wrote with patience, violence, and miracle. The question is simple and terrifying. What kind of chapter will we leave behind?